Good evening, families and friends, or could be during the day or could be the evening, depending on where you are in the world today. It's nighttime for me, so good night. And yeah, I haven't done a video in a very long time, so just got caught up doing other stuff and just, yeah, doing all of that. But I'm here to share to you guys about what happened last week and what's been happening this week. I ended up praying last week. I was praying, and in the middle of my prayer, God had put out a brother's name in my head that found me on the street one time about 5-6 years ago. He found me on the street, brought me to church, and I got saved. And man, I was turning up to church every single back then my fire was just blazing, like I was just living for the Lord. Go to church every Sunday, would go do outreach, would fellowship with the brothers after church, sometimes during the weeks too as well, church on Wednesday. Yeah, and I was doing music for the Lord too as well. And with my own selfishness, I walked away from that lifestyle and I went back into doing drugs again. And when I went back and I was doing drugs, this time I went 10 times harder than what I was doing before. So I was doing a lot more heavier and just staying up for more than 3-4 days, and I was just going crazy. And it just got to the point where I was lost. I ended up developing post-traumatic stress, which is PTSD, anxiety, depression, and social phobia. So yeah, and I from time to time I'd find it so hard to leave the house and go out and socialize. Like I even tried out for the rugby team here, and it was going good. I was turning up to training every Tuesdays and Thursdays, giving it a go. But it just got to the point where just my social phobia and my anxiety just overtook it, and I stopped doing that. I became stuck in the house. But God was helping me out in little small subtle ways that I couldn't see before. But as time went on, I started realizing God sends people out to reach out to me. He uses anyone. In this case, he was using my nurse/doctor. I ended up in how I came in contact with this nurse/doctor was the last time I stuck a needle in my arm. I had an episode where I felt like I was about to die. Like spiritually, I felt that I was gonna die. I could feel like the demonic assault, and while I was in that state of mind, I did not forget to pray. I turned up at my partner's house, my partner at the time, turned up at her house, and I told her we gotta go to mum and dad's. So she put me in the cab, she jumped in the cab, and we went over to mum and dad's house. And when we got to mum and dad's house, the attacks came even more stronger. But I also felt protected that I was under mum and dad's roof, but at the same time I felt like God was there at the same time, because when we walked in the door, mom and dad, like, before we reached there, my partner at the time called up mom and dad, and there was, like, she was telling her, he's like this, Izzy's like that, Izzy. So before we even got there, they started praying. And when we got there, they were praying. And the attacks and the assaults were getting even stronger. So I went, stood in front of the altar we had, picked up my cross, and I just kept saying, I'm a child of God. You can take my body, but you can never take my spirit. And I repeated I don't know for how long. Mom and dad were sitting in front of me on the couch, praying as well. They're both praying in their own way. And I remember mom tried to come and give me a hug. And I was just so zoned out that, like, in that moment, like, for some reason, I hated my mom and my dad and my partner at the time. So I just hit my mom, like, just get away from me. And poor lady, like, she's older now, much older, fragile. She just, like, fell down to the ground. I had no remorse, and I was like, get away from me. And she got up. It didn't break her focus or anything. She got up, started praying again, like, just continued praying. So and then came the time for police, and they called police and ambulances to come pick me up, to take me to a mental hospital. So fast forward from that, this is how I came in contact with this nurse doctor. I can't say his name, so let's just call him Barry. Okay. So Barry became very close to me. So he's in this town that we moved to. The mental hospital that I was admitted to was back in Sydney, but we left Sydney and came up here, so they transferred over here my information and that. So I'm seeing him through, like, the mental community at the hospital here at Lithgow. So yeah, man, he every week never fails. He will call me up. He will say, we'll set up a date, and he'll come on a day. He turns up on time. Sometimes when he's running late, he'll call me like half an hour before. He's like, bro, I'm running a little bit late, but I'll be there at this time. Get ready. So I get ready. I sit down and wait for him. And then when he turns up, picks me up. We go for walks sometimes. We go sometimes sit at the coffee shop and have coffee and just socialize, like, just conversate. And most of our, and this is what I'm really thankful to God about, is he did not send me anyone. He sent me one of his children, because this guy is a believer. And, like, when there were times that I was doubting, like, he'd always encourage me, like, encourage my spirit, like, God loves you, man. God wants this for you. God wants you to do this, What would God do? He'll always, he'd get me thinking in my spiritual side. And I'm not gonna lie, like, at first when it started, I was like, I used to get so annoyed, angry. Sometimes he'd pick me up and I'll just sit like this and, me mugging him and just, But as time went on, God put it in my heart, like, it's like, appreciate the help that I'm sending out to you. But still, I was still stubborn, and stuff like that, and, like, but as of late, I've been praying really hard, and, like, all those days of getting angry with Barry coming over is no longer there. I actually look forward for him to come, like, nowadays. Like, whenever he calls me up and we set up a date, I look forward to that day, because it's a chance to go out and fellowship with another brother of Christ, and get me out too as well. So I'm really thankful to God for that. And fast forward from that to last week. Sorry about that. Just slight technical issues, but we're back. Continuing on. I was praying last week, and a brother popped into my head that had found me 5-6 years ago in Parramatta on the street and brought me to church. And back then, like, I was all for the Lord. Like, my fire was burning. We would go out evangelizing, reaching out to people and inviting them to church, and doing music for God. And it was just an amazing experience. But then my selfishness took over, and I walked away from the church. But when his name popped into my mind, I was like, yo, I have not heard from this brother or any of the brothers and sisters or any of the pastors in years and years and years. So I searched up the church online, and I found a church, and I went through their details, and I found an email for the pastor, Pastor Walsh. And I sent him an email, and I told him, look, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And told him I'd like to come back to church. Very next day, he calls, but I didn't pick up, so he sends me a text message. Tried calling him back, and he didn't pick up. And then came the next day where he called. I picked up, and I was like, we talked for a little bit, and I just basically told him, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to throw my life to God, because I've tried doing things on my own accord, on my own understanding, and look where I've ended up. Nowhere. And I told him that I was lost and I needed to come home. So he encouraged me. And I told him that I was going to turn up to church on Sunday. And I turned up to church on Sunday. Bro, did all the memories and all the love and everything just came flooding right back. I mean, like, when I walked into the church, like, some of the brothers there, like, turned around and saw me, like, wow. And, like, with a big smile on the faces, like, man, I have not had that, like, someone genuinely happy to see you, like, in a very, very long time. So it really warmed my heart. It felt like I was welcome back home, And it's the same thing with God, man. Like, when you answer that calling that He's calling you, bro, once you answer that call, love will just bang come straight through like that. So I experienced this with the brothers. There was Brother Alex. I forgot the other brother's name. Brother Alex. Kevin is another one. Kevin too's got an amazing story. So yeah, so we continued on the church. I went sat next to Brother Alex, and I was listening to Pastor Walsh, and like I felt like he was speaking to me through the seminar while church was going on. So after church finished, we went outside and had a little conversation. Kevin came out, and we were standing there, we're talking, and Kevin's introducing me to his family and like all these other children that I had never, I didn't meet before, and I was like, wow, I was blown away. I was like, man, God did this for you, man, wow. And Pastor Walsh walks out, sees me, is like, oh, what a surprise, there he is. Shook hands. It's good to see you. It's good to see you too, Pastor. So, and then I made the journey back home. It took me 2 hours. It takes me 2 hours to go to church, 2 hours to come back. But bro, it's worth it. Trust me. Came Monday, yesterday, last night. I turned up. We got a conference meeting going on right now at the Potter's house. So I turn up to church, and the church is packed out. I mean, like, churches all over from Sydney came to Parramatta, and it's packed out. Pastor Walsh is up there again preaching, and for the second day it feels like he's talking to me, and I, like, God puts it in my head, listen to the voice, listen to my voice. Like, man. And the brother that I was talking about that popped into my head, he is now a pastor, Pastor Ben. When he saw me, bruh, comes up to me, calls me out by my full name, and then I stood up, looked at him, and because of my social phobia, I wear glasses all the time when I'm out in public. When he came, I just took off my glasses, looked him in the eye, and just, gave him a handshake and a big hug, and we hugged there for almost like a minute, like just embracing each other. It's like the best feeling, bro. The best feeling, like the love. Man, the love, like, despite of what this is what I mean, despite of what I've done to God, the love is still there. It doesn't change, it gets stronger. And yeah, we caught up, man. He was asking me about my brother, and I told him my brother passed away, and it was so sad. His wife comes along too as well. I see her too as well. I gave her a big massive hug, and I'm just holding her. Yeah, and it was just such an amazing feeling to come back home, and just be around the family again. Like, it's so nice to be a part of the body again. And before I went to the Monday's church conference, I made a big cleanup of my life. So I got rid of a couple of apps that I used to go on to socialize. Got rid of all of those, Snapchat, Meet Me, and websites that were not healthy for my spiritual side. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm gonna be honest. Like porno sites and sites that I've signed up to, to hook up with people and all of that. So I was just bang deleting all of that. Then I went through my phone list and deleted all the people that were, how should I say, had influenced me to sin, basically, to do ungodly stuff. So all of that gone. And while I was in the process of doing that, some of my friends online couldn't understand why I was doing what I was doing, and I had to explain to them that this is my calling. God's been calling me for years, and instead of choosing God, I chose the drugs, the sex, and whatever it was that I was throwing myself to, I was choosing that over God. So now I'm throwing everything away and answering God's call to make Him my everything. So yeah, some of them didn't understand why I was doing that, but I just told them, you'll see. But like, the most important thing to me now is coming back home to God, getting healed up, getting restored, and just do His purpose and His will for my life. Like, that's where I'm at the moment. So yeah, man, I'm encouraging each and every one of you, whoever gets to watch this video, man, like, answer the call, man. Answer it now. Don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. You might not wake up, you might die. Who knows where you're going to end up? I don't know how you live your life in your personal life. I don't know where you're going to go. So I can't sit here and lie to you and say, oh, rest in peace, or you're going to go to heaven. I don't know. Hence why I said, answer the call now. It is important for your life, and it is important for the people that are around you and the people you're going to touch in the future. So that's my encouragement. This is where I'm at the moment. Tonight, I didn't go to church, but I watched the conference online. I had missed my train. So I reached out to Pastor Walsh and I said, explained to him my situation. I said, I'm sorry, I won't be in church tonight because I missed my train. And he said, no worries, we'll see you tomorrow. And he sends me a link to the online church, online for our church. So I sat there and I still felt like I'd still been a part of it. Sorry, excuse my English. But Pastor Chris Plummer, I think he was, yeah. Now this sermon tonight really hit home. So yeah, man, like I'll be doing more videos of my progress and my life, and I'll be posting them up as regularly as I can. My progress with my spiritual life and where it's going, and what God is doing for me. And may this testimony and experience touch you. May Jesus touch you by me going through that stuff. And God knows who you're gonna touch, Yeah, so you could bring millions and millions of souls and to be saved. Like, wow, Jesus can use you in mysterious ways. So that's my only little encouragement, man. Like, answer that call right now. It's very important. Behind me, I don't know if you can see, but there's I'm starting. What I'm doing is I'm writing out the title of that thing there, the big bold writing there. You can't see it properly, but it says prayer lists of names. Now, I've wrote up some names of people that I know, including my family, friends, people that I've come in contact with. So every time when I say my prayer, I offer these people up to the Lord. And at the end of this video will be the list. So make sure to pause the video and see if your name is on the list. And if your name is not on the list, please do not be discouraged, because it's not that I've forgotten or stuff like that. There's still, look at the wall, it's massive. So I'm still gonna be writing names down for people who need prayers. For people who need prayers and people who want to come back to God. So for whoever that's not on the list or want your name on the list, please write your name down in the comments below and write a specific prayer or something that you would like me to pray for or the team to pray for. I'll bring out these names. Like once I start getting like heavy into my spiritual life, then I'll start bringing in people, and then hopefully God gives us a team that we can all pray for every single one of you. So yeah, please, just if you need prayers for any particular thing, drop down your name and your prayer that you would like us to pray for, and we will definitely do that for you. So with that, my brothers and sisters, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate every single one of you, and may God bless you, and may God grant you all the blessings that He wants to bless you with. Sorry, but God bless you all. Look after yourself, and remember, answer that call right now. It's your boy Izzy.